Isolation protocol day 57. I wasn't able to record anything yesterday. I was just in way too much pain. Uh, Barely able to do much today. I was doing a bunch of spinning. Let's see, where are we? I am plying up some more of this. So, yeah, taking the 3 single ply strands and turning it into one nice, pretty twisted strand. About probably a little more than halfway done with that. What else? Knitting wise, way back right after Christmas, I bought this yarn advent calendar from Darn Good Yarn. I have not opened it. I bought it uh, to count down to my 60th birthday, which is coming up. So in 2 more days, I get to start opening that. And I need to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I think I know what yarn is in it because I've heard people talking about it. Well, seen people chatting about it, posting about it on Facebook in the Facebook group from Darn Good Yarn. So I'm pretty sure I know what's in it, but um, I need to come up with a pattern to use it. I want to see um, what I can do with it. I'm not exactly sure what the gauge is going to be or whether I want to knit or crochet or anything yet. So, Salisbury, stop stepping on my toe. Heavy dog. What else? I did not bring a fortune cookie because it is Tuesday and it's been a long time since I've done a Tuesday reading. So I'm going to be doing that. Uh, Pardon the glare on the glasses. Where are we? This is about the middle. Well, actually, it's page 83 out of 248. So whatever percentage that is. From Girl Unseen. The nurse helped Rhys into bed. Between the drugs they gave her for the pain and the cast that covered her right arm from her fingertips to nearly her shoulder, Rhys felt completely helpless. Her left arm was completely bandaged where they had cleaned out a deep cut. 19 stitches, the doctor said, or something like that. And a lot of other things, too. She couldn't remember. She just wanted to sleep. The nurse was explaining some button, something TV remote. None of it made sense. There was just a pretty little distracting moth flittering around the room. As soon as the nurse left, the moth landed on her bed. No, not a moth. A tiny woman with sparkling white wings. The woman marched across the bed and then hopped up onto the big yellow cast. 3 broke bones on wrist, the woman said as she stood over the wrist. And then she walked up the cast. Crackers in armulin and fibula right here. She stamped her tiny feet midway between the elbow and the wrist. Crackers in ribs and confusions, lacerates, something sound like heavy tomatoes. Rhys strained her drugged memory. Heavy tomatoes? Was it hematomas? That may be it. And combustion in head. The tiny woman demonstrated by hitting herself on the head, nearly falling off Rhys's arm. She fluttered her wings to right herself. Wings good, no changing for you. Waiting for no more hematima. Right-o, missy? Change? What change? Rhys yawned. This seemed important and she tried to stay awake. Or maybe it was just a drug-induced hallucination. You know, change. Out of big head. Not till better. Very serious confusion, combustion, lacerates. Sounding bad. You going die? Prince be getting mad for dying. Rhys got even dizzier trying to figure out what the little moth woman was saying. No, those are words for just bruises and cuts and a bump on my head. Where's Mr. Fields? Prince talking to society working lady and police badge lady. Rhys had already spoken to the policewoman. She hadn't seen her social worker. The nurse made the officer stop questioning her when Rhys started crying as she relived the beating. Rhys looked at the moth woman again. "What's your name?" "Oopsie, bad manners to me. Lulu, Lucena of Lumos. Friends say Lulu, you say Lulu. I say Rhys. You Amarisa, I say Rhys. Good?" "Yeah, good." The fairy, Rhys was pretty sure she was a fairy, or at least a figment of a fairy at least, sat on Rhys's cast and stared at her. Rhys felt herself starting to doze, but something woke her. The fairy Lulu was sitting and staring at her. "What are you doing?" "Checking your IV, sweetie. Are you hungry? I can get you some dinner. I bet they didn't feed you in the ER." Rhys turned her head a little and focused on the nurse standing by her bed. Yeah, vegetarian if I can." "See what I can do." The moment the nurse was out of the room, Rhys turned her attention to the tiny woman in white. "Watching," the fairy said. "What?" "You say, what I doing? I watching. Like Princess Thistle say, watch over girl." Over the next 2 days, Rhys was questioned over and over and over by the police, and they finally brought a transcript of her answers for her to review and sign. Only then did her social worker come in to check on her. Rhys pretended to be asleep. It was easier than arguing with the woman. She kept insisting that Rhys had made up the attack. The McIntyres had told her that Rhys was sitting on the porch railing and fell into the driveway. She was pressuring Rhys to sign a statement agreeing to that story. The social worker shook Rhys's shoulder and shouted at her to wake up, but the nurse came over and pushed the woman out. Mean social worker lady. The little fairy had not left Rhys's side for days. "You got that right, Lulu. You want I go break her amulona?" Rhys laughed, but stopped with a gasp. Her cracked ribs still hurt, even though she was on pain medication. When the doctor suggested she could have a stronger dose, she refused. The last thing she needed was more drugs to make her imagine more grammatically challenged fairies. She rolled off the bed and, pushing her IV stand, she walked across the hall of the children's hospital to the playroom. She didn't want to be around when the social worker returned. She was sitting quietly in the corner reading a book when the nurses came in to return all the children to their room. Rhys didn't move, hoping no one would see her. She was just about to relax when her social worker came into the room. She paced just feet away from Rhys as she hissed into her phone. "I can't cover for you this time, Bee. I know. Don't pull that sister crap on me. He went too far this time and you know it. I'll get her to recant her statement, but no, forget it. Just don't say a word when the police come." "Of course they'll come. Ask for a lawyer and don't say anything, and make sure he shuts his mouth too." She poked at her phone and made another call. "Jasmine, I have another for you. 16, female. Got a bed?" "The hospital right now. They say they can release her this afternoon. Zila. No, wait. Zyla? I think. Yeah, Zyla, like xylophone. Zyla. Amaryllis. Yeah, I guess like the flower. She was with those two girls I placed there yesterday. I'm sure she'd like to be near them if she can. Patricia and Marquisha, the sisters. Yeah, I'm sure they're good friends. Okay, I'll see if I can get her a ride to Pelton Hall, and I'll call you back if you need to send someone to pick her up. Expect her about 5. She shoved the phone into her briefcase and stormed out of the playroom. And that's probably enough reading for today. Um, that is from Girl Unseen, and it's almost halfway into the book. So, where are we? Day whatever it was of isolation protocol, and I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.